Hi, I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. It's Monday morning, and this means that we are starting off a new carousel vlog. This week, I am listening to Ascension by Gibson, which is the second book in the Summer's Circle, or the sequel to Evocation. In Evocation, we met David, who is quite a successful attorney and the son of a occult family, and he's very appreciated psychic. He communicates with the dead, and he's approaching his third birthday, and he will get in trouble because the devil wants his soul. It's not something David did. It is a thing that happened in his family for a long time ago, and it needs to be dealt with. And for that, he turns to Rice, who is his ex-boyfriend, but also his rival in the occult society they're a part of. Getting to Rice is difficult, so he has to pass by Moira, who is Rice's wife. And this will create some kind of emotional knot in which they will have to find out how they feel about each other and how to give that a place, whilst also figuring out how to deal with this devil's claim. In the second book, we have a temporary solution for this devil problem, and we meet the three of them whilst they are having a kind of stability in their lives, stability that will turn over because something like a kind of public sacrifice ritual happened, and that is not the work of the occult society where our guys are members from, and this will open up a lot of sabotage towards their society. So we will have to deal with that. But Rice will also have to deal with the pressure that he undergoes, since he is summoning always more demons to help him to keep seated on top of the chair that he so hardly worked for to get. I am not that very far in, but I'm already quite intrigued with how things will fold out. I also started a physical book, and I started yesterday evening because I needed something to read, and I am reading The Reader of the 627 by Jean-Paul Didierlaurent. This book, my copy is in French, but it has been translated to English. For once, if you want, you can go enjoy that. This is a very strange book. I was looking for a book written in verse for the 52 book club prompts, and this also fits the short book prompt I got for the readathon game nightathon lottery. And when I opened it, it is not in verse. There are parts in verse, and it is very appreciative of books and poetry. So I'm not sure. I will see how much of this verse will come back throughout the story to see if I can count it towards that prompt or not. But what is it about? We will meet Guylaine, and I need to see, Vignol. It's a difficult name. Guylaine Vignol, who is working for a society that is recycling old books. And he has taken the habit of saving a few pages here and there and to read them aloud to the people he shares his wagon with on his morning train to work. The first pages he shared were a little bit to me, but I hung in there, and I accompanied Guylaine through his day of work, meeting his colleagues and how things go. And at some point I was like, wow, why am I reading this? Where is this going to? I was planning on DNFing, but then I didn't want to get out of my bed. So I continued reading, and I'm so happy I did, because at some point when he comes home from work, he gets a phone call from an ex-colleague of him who got injured and who is on a quest of finding books that are printed on one particular batch of paper that was made of one of particular batch of paper pulp that they produced. I'm not going to tell you why, because it's gross. When I came to that, I thought, well, this could become a very interesting book, because the quest Guylaine is on in trying to help his colleague finding these books and helping his colleagues is very heartwarming. And so now I am curious to see where this is going to go. What are we up to this week? Not much. We are going to the library on Wednesday, where Naoki and Merin will participate in an activity centered around Christmas. We'll see what we can bring you with that. And this weekend we are off to Paris. We are going to meet Zecht Reddas, which is one of the characters that I play with. It's a member of the same guild as my husband and I on Final Fantasy XIV. If you want to know more about that, you have a lot of it in my vlog about Looking for Growth by Alexis Hall. And in that vlog, I told you that we were going to do a meeting with some guild members. In the end, it will only be Zecht. Zecht is a violinist who plays alto, and the orchestra he plays in has a concert planned for this weekend. So we are going all the way over there to enjoy that. And I hope that I can show you snippets of the concert, but we will at least show you snippets of Paris. It is Wednesday, and as promised, we went to the library since there is an activity in which Merin and Naoki are taking part. And I am taking the opportunity to talk to you about the 2 books that I've already finished this week. I did finish The Reader of the 627, and I was hesitant to continue it, but I ended up really enjoying it. The story kicks off about 100 pages before the end, in which some event occurs that will set Guylaine off to some quest of his own to discover the person that has written text that he found on a USB stick. The story in itself is quite slice of life, quite banal maybe, but the characters are highly entertaining, and this book is worth reading only for the writing style and the way it is written. It is extremely touching, funny at some moments, heartbreaking at others. And I think if you like books that are centered around poetry, then this one is most certainly for you. And since I had some trouble with the next book that I want to read for the Game Night-a-thon lottery, the one that I plan to read this week, unfortunately is not longer available on Kindle, not included, or not to buy. So I have to pick another one, and that's what we are going to do also today at the library. But then yesterday evening I read the art book for India Dream. So I finished that series last month, saying in my wrap-up that the 10th album, which is the artwork book, I didn't read yet. So I did that. I showed you the insights in the wrap-up video, so I'm not going to do that again, but I really enjoyed to see the story told as a whole. So it's a recap of the 4 albums, and out of 2 point of view of 2 of the main characters of it. And I really enjoyed seeing some more detailed ideas of how they felt, things that I didn't pick up in the albums themselves. If you got the chance, this is a series of comics that is worthwhile trying out as well. It is time to finish up this weekly carousel. I do this on Monday instead of on Sunday evening because I was way too tired after coming home from Paris. It was lots of fun, but it also was very tiring. And as you may have noticed in the footage, I am not sharing the images of the meetup with our friends because that's personal and I didn't want to expose him so directly. But we did really enjoy the concert and we really enjoyed having drinks afterwards. It was really fun. And whilst leaving, I want to talk to you about the 3 books that I finished. So I managed just before we left to finish Ascension by Gibson, which was the audiobook that I started on Monday. I really did enjoy this book. I made a little summary back on Monday, so I will not repeat that. But what I will tell you is that in this book, I was hoping to at least clear the mystery that it started off with, which we didn't do. I felt it centered way more on Maryse than the first one, who was centered on David. But it was still very interesting to see how Maryse grew throughout all the events. And I am now very curious to read the 3rd one. We still have to wait for it to come out. And I hope that we will be more Moira focused because I grew very attached to her. I think she's an excellent character. She's really a woman I want to take example of. But also I hope that then in the 3rd book we will solve the mystery that left open-ended in the 1st and the one that was left open in the 2nd book, because I am very curious to see how this all ends. I also managed to finish up the book that I got in the library. So I got and I think I will look for the translation. It will be safer. The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. So I went to the library and you saw me pick out 2 books. I went in with a list of 3, but the adult one, which is The Quiet Tenant, was checked out. And so I went with this one because the other one that was on my wanting to read list turned out to be very, very young, even children's. And I felt it wouldn't be such a fun read for me, but I will keep it to recommend to my kids. So I read this one and I really enjoyed. So I picked it because I really enjoyed the movie Queerale, which is by the same author. And this one is said to be in exactly the same style, and it definitely is. So we have this little boy that escapes the murder of his family. He is then like 18 months old, and we will follow him until I think 15, 16 years old. And he will be adopted by some ghost living on a cemetery. And because he's living there, he's granted some special abilities, like he can walk through the graves and stuff like that. And he is tutored by 2 quite strange characters. And what I really liked about this book is how it says things without saying things. So we will find out who those 2 characters are, but they're never explicitly depicted as such. But I will not say because I'm not sure if it's a spoiler or not. So we'll follow this little boy whilst he grows up, how we see how he adapts to this life, how he feels about it, how he longs to also be part of the living world, and how they protect him without really telling him from what and wherefore. But we will slowly learn that even at the start, the people protecting him do not really know from what or wherefore. And I really enjoyed this book, especially for the atmosphere. And also, and I'm not sure if it is the French edition that I have or if it is all, but it has a lot of nice drawings. So not everywhere, but at some points. And I think this adds a lot to the story. And they are in a style that really goes well with the atmosphere of the book. And I found it, it has this scary cuteness of Caroline, and this is something I really liked. And so I really enjoyed reading this one. I think if it was for not the way that things went, I would maybe not have picked this up this early, and I'm really glad I did. The last one that I want to talk to you about is not 100% a book. It is an Audible original, and it's called The Signal, and it is a short story that is told in like a hear play. I think that's how you call it. So it's basically like actors doing the whole script of it, and it is about a group of scientists and journalists that are trying to figure out what happened. So this scientist working at some space observation post picks up a signal from space, and they are quite sure that it is coming from some kind of intelligence life form somewhere else in the universe. But very quickly, the whole department is taken over by other services, and they are quite covering up what happened. And so the scientist stops into or to a journalist to uncover, and this journalist then will include another scientist that really believes in extraterrestrial life, but that then lost her opportunity to work in science because of that. And together they will try to figure out what really happened. This is like 2.5 hours, and I listened to it yesterday when we came home, whilst putting away all our luggage and stuff like that. And I think it was very fun to listen to. I think I expected a little bit more out of it, but then the plot twist at the end was unexpected and interesting. So if you got 2.5 hours to spare, you could listen to that. It was a nice time anyways. So I hope you enjoyed watching and coming along in our week. We ended up not going outside. It was a very rainy week. I'll try to make that up to you next week, but I'm not sure about that. Come around next week on Monday to see if I manage to go out. See you soon!